Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kid Show. And if you're watching this, it brings me great pain to say that um, rest in peace to the Xbox 360, man. The Xbox 360 marketplace has officially been shut down by Microsoft. The Xbox 360 launched November 22nd of 2005, and 19 years later, here we are. And this is a big hit to preserving video games. I don't think that we should beat around the bush with this. I think that we need to really use this moment to realize how vital preserving gaming history is. I know that a lot of gamers that keep up with everything, all the modern stuff, don't give a shit about that. And it's so sad. It's so sad because at one point you did cherish a lot of these games that happened to be on the Xbox 360 store. Now it's just like, it's old news. And to just throw that away, um, and to be honest with you, I've been there. I've been there. I didn't really. There was a time where I was younger, and I didn't really care about something I've already played. I would not even take care of some of my games growing up, or my brother would wreck my consoles or my games growing up because he's 6 years younger than me. But there was a time where I didn't really care so much, and how naive and stupid, I came to realize that, and I will say, man, the Xbox 360 happens to be one of my all-time favorite consoles. I remember getting I mean, my brother technically got our first 360 for his birthday, and we were playing full auto, and that was a bomb ass like arcade racer with the guns on the hoods and stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was addictive. Gaming was so much more entertaining back then, even with like hole in the wall sorts of games. But full auto was a heat. Okay, that was an amazing game to start off with. And I remember stuff like Quake 4, man. Oh man, I know a lot of people aren't big fans of Quake 4. People don't remember it too much, but I just remember that opening scene where, things is going to hell and the camera's just floating. It's just floating out in like in space, and then out of nowhere you just start seeing dead bodies and blood and just heads and oh man, like what a tone, man. Quake 4 was heat. I don't care what anyone says, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that game back then. But what was honestly the biggest highlight for me on 360 was the COD games. I was such a big Call of Duty fan, but Call of Duty 4 particularly. What a game. What a game. It was what convinced me to finally sign up for Xbox Live. I created my Xbox Live account. It was 14 Trunks, funny enough. That was my first online handle. Me and my brother would share the account. What a fucking throwback, man. Oh my gosh. So we would both play on there and stuff. And the COD addiction, man, was insane. Um, Being like 14, 15 years old during that time and just playing Call of Duty 4, the maps, the games, all the people that I met. This is like a controversial take, but when it came to Xbox 360, it wasn't the exclusive games that drew me in. It was never that. I was never a big Halo fan. I liked Halo 2, but I wasn't crazy about Halo 3. I tried Gears. I wasn't really into Gears like that. My brother was into all the Xbox 360 exclusives. He loved Gears of War. He loved Halo. But me, no, I like the third parties. What drew me in to Xbox 360 growing up was the features. You couldn't deny, because we did end up getting a PS3. You couldn't deny that when PS3 launched and 360 had already been out, that 360 had phenomenal social features in particular, just features entirely. What a feature complete box. And while they definitely did some sus things in regards to getting people to pay for things, like paying for online, you had to pay for Xbox Live to use Netflix. Yeah, that was a thing back then. I don't know if you guys remember, but that was literally a thing. You had to pay for a service just to use a service that you pay for. Insanity, insanity. They didn't have it all figured out, but the advancement in features was astounding. It was amazing. Just having a friends list and a group of people to jump on into a COD game with every weekend. Because back then, back then I was, I was in high school. I couldn't play video games during the week. I could play my Game Boy Advance. So I'd play my Game Boy Advance a lot during the week. I'd sneak that in. But when it came to actually playing on the console, I was not allowed to do that. So I'd be an every weekend sort of gamer. And so, the social features, jumping in, playing with homies. I remember back in the day, playing Call of Duty 4, and I was playing with this dude, Lil Andre from Canada. It's amazing how I remember this stuff, guys. Little Andre from Canada, and we were basically figuring out how to break out of the Call of Duty 4 maps. So we were like actually getting off of the maps and just doing stupid shit, man. We'd play video games we'd play Call of Duty together particularly. And I remember talking to him about like, oh man, I don't like to just use the AK-47 because everyone would use the AK-47. We would talk about our different builds, and this was before any of us really used internet to look up, metas and whatnot. We weren't looking up metas. We were just coming up with our own thing. And we were like talking to each other, taking each other's advice. We were a part of the Teabag clan back in the day, man. We were a part of the Teabag clan. And I remember, uh, and this is before there was really like a clan system around video games, really, other than you could just put a clan tag. But I remember the Teabag clan filling up an entire ground war map. So it was like Teabag on each side. And we were playing for hours, bro. It was during the summer, so I was playing till the morning. It was so many great moments in gaming, man. Like, what a feature complete, amazing box 360 was. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And another game I used to play a lot, technically two games. I would play this. I used to be big into military shooters back in the day, guys. Huge. Now I don't really like them as much anymore. I wish that they had good multiplayer military shooters, but I'm not into playing like single player military shooters as much as I used to. But one of the games that would play alongside Call of Duty 4 was GRAW 1 and 2. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 1 and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2. If I wanted to play that arcadey, fun, like quick dose of action, I'd play Call of Duty 4. If I wanted to play more tactically and have like custom lobbies, I would play GRAW 1 or 2, and it was like different people to play with. Back then you could only have 100 people on your friends list, so I remember, you would talk to people and then you kind of lose touch, and then you meet new people. And I was like, well, I haven't talked to this dude in months, or they haven't been online for months, so I'm just gonna yeet them. Oh man, the silliest things, bro. The silliest things. I have so many great memories with the 360. And the shame is that I ended up selling it and selling all my games. And the reason why is because I hated Xbox One. I absolutely hated what Microsoft was doing. A few months after the launch of the Xbox One, I sold my 360. I sold my games. I thought I would never, ever even touch Xbox ever again with how they shit the bed that badly. And I know a lot of PlayStation fanboys think I'm hard on them and I'm hard on PlayStation, but the only reason why you guys don't recognize how consistent I am when it comes to just cutting motherfuckers off or clowning motherfuckers for corporate meat grinding. You didn't know me back during the Xbox One generation, guys. I mean, I only had Twitter. I didn't do YouTube, so I was roasting Xbox and I was roasting Xbox fanboys consistently, bro. So honestly, even worse than what I do now with PlayStation console gremlins. The only reason why you ain't know about it because I didn't do YouTube back then. I never thought I would do YouTube back in those days. I would just talk my little shit on Twitter and keep it moving. But I remember being so insanely hyped for GTA 4. I bought like the collector's edition that came with like it was like a tin. I forget what it's like a lockbox for like a bank or whatever. And I was so hyped for GTA 4, and to be fair, I loved the visuals. I loved the visual upgrade, and I was interested in that world. And I recognized, I didn't even know any of the lore behind what things are based off of, but I recognized that, oh man, this is just like New York, and it had a lot of the same cars, and I liked a lot of the music. I mean, they were playing Chic and Sister Sledge in GTA 4, so bro, I was fucking chilling, bro. But I never did gravitate to the game as much as I wanted to. I didn't like the main protagonist. I didn't really like the side characters. I didn't like the story. The first thing I remember just making me kind of like ugh was was when I walked into a store and Nico was I had Nico picking out clothes and I couldn't pick out individual pieces. That was like the one thing that made me say, "Oh man, like this is a downgrade from San Andreas." Because it's like San Andreas, like CJ was CJ, but you could make CJ your own CJ. I don't like, it's sort of like role play because it's like you can go to a store, buy individual pieces of clothing, customize how CJ looks. You can go work out and really get him super buff, or you can go stuff your fucking face at Cluck and Bell all day, every day, and get him super fat. Like you made CJ your own, and you got him his own haircut, and really GTA 4 lacked that. That was like the one thing that really bothered me about GTA 4. But playing online in GTA for the first time was interesting. I'm not a big fan of GTA Online now, but back then when it was like something new, something different, it was really fun. It was really fun. Shit, I gotta throw in some haymakers, man. Some games that I will cherish forever. Memories I'll cherish forever. Fight Night Round 3, baby. Round 3. I had it on I had the first game on OG Xbox, and then I remember going to Toys R Us, and I loved it on the OG Xbox. I thought that the visuals were solid, but then I went to Toys R Us, and I saw Fight Night Round 3 on Xbox 360, and I said, I have to buy this game again. Like I have to. The sweat, the visuals, the crispness of the characters, the more details. That game was totally worth buying all over again on a whole new platform. I didn't care. I was an addict for boxing games, man. I fucking adored Fight Night Round 3, and it was so worth getting that 360 upgrade. I man, the memories I will cherish forever, guys, for real. And I have to talk about the other game that I was introduced to early 360 generation, and that is Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Elder Scrolls Oblivion will always hold this insanely beloved place in my heart. I adore that game. It's so flawed, but it's so amazing. It's so beautiful. What a fucking storyline. What a game. I never knew what it's like to be truly free in a video game until I played Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I played RPGs, but not to that extent. Not to that level of freedom. That was like the first one that I was like, "Oh my god, this is insane." Like I escaped from prison and now I could do any fucking thing I want. So I ended up making like damn near a dozen characters, doing different stuff, being different types of characters, going through these worlds, different builds, encountering different people, different quest lines. Oh man, what a beautiful game that I needed to really show me that what gaming could truly be. And like I said, while the game it is indeed flawed, it's not perfect, but oh man, did it strike all the right chords that I needed as like a 15-year-old at the time, man. It was phenomenal. Love it, love it, love it. Sir Patrick Stewart playing the Imperial Emperor. Little things, man. It's the little things that are just astounding about that game. And I played that game consistently every weekend for like 3 years straight. I couldn't. Oh man! And during the summer, I could do whatever I want. I was playing that bitch all summer. But what a game! And even Fallout 3, amazing memories of Fallout 3. Such an interesting game. I loved that ugly, grimy look to that world. And even with New Vegas, also that ugly, grimy look. The different storylines, the adventures. That's what an experience back then, man. I was an addict for games like that where I could just be a drifter and just explore and do whatever I wanted to do. Is such a You can dump hours and hours into games like those. And oh man, like the 360 had some gaming experiences that I will carry on with me forever. Out of everything else besides PS2, it's like a debate between those two. Yeah, I can't I can't you gotta give 360 its props, man. What a console, what a generation, really, when you break it down. I remember playing Arkham City. I, it was so awesome that not only you could play as Batman, but you could play as Catwoman as well. Love the design, love the world. I like that it was open world at the time. Oh man, what a game! What a game! I'm just gushing, I'm just remembering. I'm reminiscing. It's like I'm trying to make a bitter moment at least somewhat sweet. Just remembering my teenage years. Some other great games. Mirror's Edge. I loved playing Mirror's Edge at the time. Borderlands was a great fun game. Um, I'm just trying to think. Red Dead Redemption. What a fucking game. Oh my god, dude. Like you can't deny. And it's like as many great games as I played on 360, there were so many more I didn't get the opportunity to play, which is a shame. The Skate franchise, Skate 1, 2, and 3. Phenomenal games, man. Absolutely phenomenal. Loved them. Mortal Kombat 9. Yes, I played it on the 360 and then on PS3 as well. Left 4 Dead. Oh my god, dude. I'm just trying to think of all of these amazing fucking games. Holy, what a library. I remember playing The Amazing Spider-Man, and I was a huge fan of the movie at the time, and I loved the video game. It was so good. Oh man, I love the realism to it. What a game. The Dragon Ball Z games. I even enjoyed Burst Limit. Burst Limit was that last Atari game that they ended up putting out before Atari lost the rights to Dragon Ball, and that was a game that had amazing animations, man. I don't know if a lot of people remember, but the animations were phenomenal in that game. The visuals were such a huge step up from the PS2 games. I loved Burst Limit, but the problem was that game needed more time to cook. Like the game was very much playable, but it was super small in scale. It was like going from Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 to Burst Limit, and then seeing like how much less characters there were, how limited the fighting mechanics were. It was like if that game had another year to cook, I think we could have had one of the best Dragon Ball Z video games ever made, in my personal opinion, man. But Atari rushed it out because they were about to lose the rights, man, and it sucked. It sucked super balls, man. Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 1 and 2. Amazing games. Now, those were the games we were expecting to be sort of like successors to Budokai Tenkaichi 3. And while they weren't perfect, the visuals were phenomenal. The gameplay was fun. These are games that are made, these are arena fighters that aren't really like actual fighting games, but they're for the fans to reenact iconic fights and just have fun arena style brawls and stuff. Really, really fun, man. Games like Prototype were such a fun time. Just that sense of being super powerful was so dope. I remember coming home with Saints Row 1 on a Sunday night. Mind you guys, like I said, I couldn't play during the week, so I was playing Saints Row Sunday night, and I was fucking loving that game. I was loving the tone, was loving the characters, was loving that I don't know, man, like they just nailed it with a fun game that had that like, that really early 2000s swag to it, but also was funny, was charming, really amazing visuals, but also like bright and vibrant. It was what Since I wasn't like a big fan of GTA 4 growing up, that was like my alternative. And then Saints Row 2, oh my god, bro, what a What a sequel. What a sequel, man. I know a lot of people aren't that big into Saints Row, but the people that are into Saints Row love Saints Row, and I loved Saints Row back in them days, man. Three It's crazy to think we got like 4 of them on one platform. Wild, wild. And while he never reached the heights of Saints Row 2 again, 3 was still playable to me, and 4, it was it was interesting. Could have could have could have definitely had better execution, but 1 and 2, phenomenal games. Great, great memories that I will never forget, man. And I guess I'll end this discussing this last final game that I got for my birthday. I was like 14 or 15, I can't quite remember. Actually got 2 games. You know what? Give you guys 2 games. So, Condemned Criminal Origins. Got it for I believe my 15th birthday. I asked my dad to pick it up for me from Toys R Us for my birthday. And I thought the game was called Condemned Criminal Organs. Because, like, guys, I didn't look up too much stuff on the internet back then. We did have internet, but I just didn't bother looking stuff up. I would see like little things, and I was like, man, I like the atmosphere of this game, and I just wanted it randomly. So I had my dad ask the lady for Condemned Criminal Organs, and the lady laughed at him. He's like, "You got me here getting laughed at trying to get you this game for your birthday." I'm like, "I'm sorry, Dad. I thought it was Organs, not Origins." But what an amazing atmospheric game! A shout out to Seven, the film. Just chef's kiss, man. What a tone. What what atmosphere. What these areas that you're in are just so insane. The whole detective thing. They made that whole detective thing cool because I remember they had like NCIS video games on the 360, and I was like, oh man, I ended up getting one of them, and I was like, ugh. But the whole investigative thing, Condemned Criminal Origins made that really fun. But I guess the final game I'll throw on the list, one of my all-time favorite video games as well. And this was at a time where I was, this was like the end of 360 generation. At that time, I was like very rebellious. I would always be going out and hanging out with my friends. And we wouldn't do anything crazy and whatnot, but I always just wanted to be away from my family and stuff. Like I was just like I want to do what I do when I want to do when I want to do it. And I used I used to get in trouble with my parents even though I didn't necessarily do anything bad because I would just be gone. But the game that brought me back and reinvigorated um my love of gaming at that time because I was so obsessed with just I want to go to the mall with my friends. I want to go to the movies with my friends. I want to go out with my friends and just be out with my friends all the time. The one game that brought me back was Tomb Raider the reboot. Dude, it is so insane how they put Laura in this world, and this world was just this brutal pile of shit that she had to make her way through and to become the Tomb Raider because she was nothing when she started, and you didn't think that she was gonna make it. Like you felt bad for her, like you really did, and you wanted to see Laura fight whatever's going on. These people, this island that she's stuck on, it has this grab, man. It's keeping them down. You just fought with Laura till the end, and just to see her with her guns, her pistolas, man, it was at the end was so awesome. I still cherish and love that game. I've played it. I played through it multiple times. And you know what? Oh my god, I can't. Bro, I'm thinking of so many video games. How can I forget Mafia 2? Mafia 2 played it on 360. Another game that I played dozens. All right. I'm over exaggerating. I played it so many goddamn times. I played it like more than a half dozen times. I can't even count how many times I played it. But man, Vito, what a protagonist, what a game, what a world. That time period, those cars, just all these shout outs to amazing films that they take inspiration from. Not just mob flicks, but even stuff like Shawshank Redemption. What a fucking beautiful game. Man, I can keep going on. This video is so long, but I just wanted to reminisce on 360. And shit, I remember when 360, you'd buy 360 cards and they were like points. They were like Xbox Live points. That was how ridiculous gaming was. They didn't know what the hell. Everyone was trying to figure out how online gaming was going to be. I didn't really buy too much games online. I would always buy physical copies. But there was a couple of games that I did buy. The Sonic Sonic Adventure 2 and Jet Set Radio. Those are the games that I did buy on 360. And honestly, I was a teenager back then. I didn't really have any money. I didn't have my own credit card. I didn't have my own debit card. So me getting like DLCs and other games in other like digital games was not really a thing. It was very rare. I did get Shivering Isles, if I'm not mistaken, on Oblivion. Though, no, I might have gotten. So I used to do this thing back in the day because many people didn't really have access to the internet, where they would sell like physical copies of DLC. I believe I can't remember if I ended up going that route or buying it online. I did, however, buy the map pack for Call of Duty 4, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of regretted that. I didn't really like those maps at all. And then I couldn't figure out how to yeet the DLC pack, so I just played the main game because it would constantly separate gamers. Because the map packs were bought by a small portion of the community, and other people are just like, "Eh, I'm good." But yeah, I remember that too. 360, wasn't perfect, but they got a lot of things right, and that was my 7th gen main platform, and Xbox has never been that for me ever since. And them shutting down this marketplace is not just shutting down Xbox 360. It's not ending Xbox 360. It's not just that. It is really just killing the peak of their legacy. That's what Microsoft is doing when it comes to gaming. They've just killed off the peak of the Xbox legacy. And I really do not ever think Xbox will ever be held to that high regard ever again. They've since made a joke of their platform. They've since made a joke of just how they do business. The Xbox 360 was that dude bro console, and I loved it for that. Despite being a woman, despite being like, between the age of 14 and like, 18 at the time, playing on a dude bro console, it was amazing because it was a dude bro console. And Microsoft just threw that away to try and make their future platforms kid friendly, and therefore making them feel like they're for nobody because they tried so hard to make their platform feel like for everybody while forcing their nonsense. And yeah, 360 will always have this place in my heart. And shame is I sold my 360. I sold all my games. And I just never got the opportunity to try and regain my collection. I was so mad at Xbox, and at the time I was in college, and I used the money to get more games because, well, broke college life. But yeah, it's one of those. It's one of my biggest regrets in gaming. There's never been a situation in which I sold a game or a platform and I didn't later regret it. And now I don't sell anything. So even despite me being pissed at Sony for the way they've handled PS5 generation, I still own my PS5s, and that's just how it is. I feel nothing for the Xbox platform these days, but I still have my Xbox One X. I still have my Xbox Series X. It is what it is, man. That's just how I feel. But yeah, guys, let me know some of your memories with the Xbox 360 and how you feel about the Xbox 360 marketplace closing. It's sad. It's sad, but I tried to share with you some of my great memories. Bittersweet, to make it as bittersweet as I can make it. But yeah, guys, if you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me over on Twitter or Twitch if you want to continue the conversation. Check out my movie channel at The Movie Cage. I got the Deadpool Wolverine review in the works, so that'll be posted tomorrow likely. So definitely tune in for that. And yeah, guys, well, I'll be in cinema out. Peace.